Zilur, welcome. David Miller was sacked for giving a lecture in which he said one of a number of the basis for Islamophobia was Zionism, one of. It was alleged this was threatening to an Israeli student in the room. Tell us a bit about this case.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, thank you for having me. It's a very important case concerning the scope of the protection afforded to speech, controversial speech, if you like, and beliefs in the workplace. The judgment is likely to be of particular importance to employers who find themselves under pressure to regulate and censor political speech in the workplace, particularly relating to the current conflict that we're seeing in Israel and Gaza. This particular matter starts off in February 2019, where our client, Professor David Miller, was employed as a professor in sociology at the University of Bristol. And as part of one of his lectures called The Harms of the Powerful, which is a lecture on Islamophobia. And what he tries to do in that lecture is link and say how Zionism effectively encourages Islamophobia. And as a part of that lecture, there's complaints that's raised against him for his removal, effectively trying to say that what he was saying about Zionism amounts to anti-Semitism. The university launches an investigation, an internal investigation, which finds no evidence of anti-Semitism. There's then a further investigation that's done externally by a senior counsel, KC, which again found no evidence of anti-Semitism. And then fast forward to February 2021, whilst this was still ongoing, David tells the university that they should make the findings of the investigation public, so it prevents him being vilified online by students and a number of other agitators. For one reason or another, that never takes place. So David, whilst giving a lecture outside of university, speaks about the issues and the problems in universities where university lecturers' freedom of speech is being curtailed by pro-Zionist Israeli groups. And as part of this, he says he himself was subjected to complaints and a campaign to dismiss him by the Jewish students at the university. And in doing so, he's now subjected to further complaints from a number of people. There's a real campaign that takes place from external bodies, organizations, and a lot of pressure is then put on the university to take disciplinary action against David because of this. And again, the university then instigate a third investigation, again by an external KC. And again, there's no evidence of any anti-Semitism that's found against David. But unfortunately, the pressure that's put onto the university by external organizations means that they eventually capitulate, and they do dismiss David in October 2021 for what David says. So David says he's an anti-Zionist, and it's something that the university would have known before they employed him. And he says that Zionism is a racist, violent, imperialist ideology that's premised on ethnic cleansing, and that it needed to be opposed. And the comments that he made in the lecture that he gave outside of university effectively makes those same points. And he says he was therefore manifesting his belief. Now, under the Equality Act 2010, it protects, one of the protected characteristics are called is religion and belief. Religion, as you and I would know, is Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and so on and so forth. But belief is wider than that. And in recent years, it's included people who have sort of environmental beliefs, gender critical beliefs has come within the ambit of what constitutes a belief. And in order to be a belief, it must be something that's genuinely held. It's a belief that you're able to show that's cogent, that it's coherent, that it's worthy of respect in a democratic society, that it's not incompatible with human dignity or doesn't impede on the fundamental rights of others. And so therefore, David says that his belief in anti-Zionism is one that ought to be protected under the Equality Act. And the tribunal found that his belief was satisfied that criteria and ought therefore to be protected. It's not a high bar to get over to show that a belief should be protected. Anything, as I said, so long as it fits that criteria, it is a belief that should be protected. Anything that's not a totalitarian belief or one that's akin to Nazism falls within the ambit of belief.